Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is an exciting two-shot that we are partaking in. It's part of Star Wars Saturdays, although technically we're playing on a Sunday. I always like to say that it's Saturday somewhere, right? Star Wars Saturdays is this ongoing anthology campaign that I have been running for the Gauntlet community for a few years now. Every month, I choose a different RPG. Sometimes there are repeats of a game that I may have run a few months previous, but I'll choose a different RPG for that month, offer it up to the Gauntlet community, and on our RSVP site, folks will tag in that they are interested. We get together and create characters, or sometimes we revisit characters from previous games because it is an ongoing narrative that we're all telling together. And then we tell a story with those characters gathered together using that system that has been chosen for the month. So this two-shot is exciting because I am using a system I found on itch. Itch.io is this wonderful collective of indie creators, started primarily for video games, is my understanding, but they've also put on a physical games section, and there's a vibrant community of small press designers and indie designers making wild and crazy games that aren't PBTA. So I don't even know how to take it, guys. Like 2d6. But anyway, Breathless is the game that I've hacked for Star Wars. Breathless is a game from Foddy RPGs. I've borrowed from a few different Breathless hacks and also stolen from Jesse Ross's wonderful trophy dark just a little bit because, that's a pretty amazing design. And that is our Star Wars Breathless game that we are playing today. The Breathless game system that we have has a countdown clock, a doomsday clock, as it were, which I borrowed from Last Ship. I believe it's Last Ship on Earth, and that is a pretty cool idea. And Survivor Points is a gasp from Pandalion Games, so that I've given credit to all the folks. The idea is that I want to have a mission-based game that was very dangerous, inspired by Star Wars media like Rogue One, and also certain smaller stories from the Clone Wars series, the CGI and animated series that appeared originally on Disney XD and now can be found on Disney Plus. So with all of that out of the way, let me remind everyone we do have safety tools. Everyone who plays RPGs together should consider them. They are a wonderful way for us to communicate to each other our particular interests and lack of interests. We are using the safety tools of lines, which means it's a line we will not cross. That's not a topic that we're interested in. For example, for this game, the death and endangerment of children. We have a line on that. That means that these threats, these missions, children will not be put in harm's way. If at all possible, they definitely won't be shown being killed. Like if a planet blows up, we all know that there were probably children on it, but what we're not interested in, the line we're talking, is not putting endangerment of a child specifically or having that on screen. Not going to happen. We also have veils. Veils are things where we're okay if that content exists, but we want to fade to black or do a star wipe away from that. For example, we have consensual sex is a veil. That means that we're okay if two characters hook up, but we don't want the nitty-gritty detail. We just fade to black and all assume that that has taken place. And then the last piece of those, that triumvirate, is the ask first. That means it's situational. If you're interested in introducing something that touches this topic, for example, midichlorians, if you want to throw midichlorians out there, although for this game, midichlorians is lined, so we don't have to worry about it. But if you were interested in introducing midichlorians, what we ask is that you verbalize to the players, hey, I'd like to mention my character's M count as a thing. Is everybody cool with that? And if anyone says, can you try it a different way? Then we don't introduce that into the fiction. That way the characters don't have to deal with a thing that a particular player has said, I'd really rather we talk this out because it is situational for me. Layered on top of that, we have the X card. The X card is I didn't realize I'd have to line or veil this thing, but it totally ruins my fun. Can we X card this deal? You won't have to defend yourself. Well, Greg just adding a point. Non-verbal point. So if you don't have to defend yourself when you X card anything, I assume you're doing it in good faith because we're here to have a good time. But I may ask a question just so I understand what has been X carded, because I was public school educated in the South of the United States. So sometimes I don't get things, and I may just ask a question for clarity, and then it's excised from our play. And the last piece is that we have one open door. You got to go take care of stuff. You're a grown up. Go do the thing. If you can give us a heads up when you'll be back, awesome. If you don't know and you just got to go. It's cool. We'll pause and then we'll carry on and we'll pick you back up when you come back in. That's all of the safety talk. Hopefully I've got it down to where it's not too long and meandering. Let's meet our players. So we're going to use the character keeper just so we know what order we're at. We're going to start from the right-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the left, which means Travis, you get to go first. It's the last name Allison, you probably have gone first a lot in these kind of situations. I hope you.
That's right.
Cool.
That's right. Yes. I'm Travis Allison. My pronouns are he, him, and I am coming from Ontario, Canada today.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank
Stephen, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Stephen, and my pronouns are also he, him.
Okay. And Stephen just came back from Gen Con and has told us wonderful stories of that wonderful con. Thank you for that pre-game chatter, Stephen. Greg, you are up next, my friend.
Hi, I'm Greg. I also use he, him pronouns. And I'm go by group soliloquy most everywhere online.
Fantastic. Last but not least is Chris.
Hi, my name is Chris. I go by he, him pronouns. I am dialing in from Columbus, Ohio, and you can find me online at Hectic Electron, just about everywhere.
Very, very cool. A fantastic cast for us to playtest this Star Wars-ified Breathless hack. Very excited. Chris, you went last on intros. You can go first on intros of your character. Can you please tell us about your character? I'm very excited to hear about them.
3PXR is an espionage droid, is in this fight to try to one day find and rescue a droid I loved, Geno 3, who was reprogrammed for Star Destroyer duty. I'm gonna find them and bring them back. And I go by they, them pronouns. Or it, Rich, you're muted.
Thank you very much, Chris. Okay. They, them, or it, will remember that. And then I'm just curious, if you don't have an answer and you want to think about it, that's totally cool. But what type of droid was Geno 3?
Oh, yeah. A maintenance droid of some sort. Short.
Maintenance droid? Okay. Maintenance droid. And your 3PXR, they appear as a protocol droid, correct? Silver.
It's a sort of subset of a protocol droid called an espionage droid. But yeah.
That doesn't sound scary. Awesome. I love it. Perfect setup. And the droid is a kit that we are using. So you get the special skill, unique skill of know, or like knowledge. You know stuff. You can calculate odds of failure and the like, and maybe share it at inopportune times. Greg, you are up next. Please tell us about the character you are bringing to the squad.
Yeah, I'll be playing Vico Rakghoul Kesmu. Rakghoul comes from an earlier Star Wars Saturday game called Storm Furies, where he was a pilot in training for the New Republic, where he did win the Dark Lighter trophy, which was very highly prized. He's a decent pilot, but he is accompanied by R5ST. She is an astromech droid who does actually most of the flying. I'm interested to see how he got tied into doing probably ground-based missions. It's going to be very exciting. Do we want to talk about our drives? Yes. Okay, cool. Sorry, yes, of course, Christmas. Okay. So I'm looking for revenge because that station I was trained on after I left was destroyed. Crucible Station was destroyed by the remnants of the Empire. I think my trophy might have even been on board.
What?
And I'm looking for revenge.
That is amazing. I can't believe you just destroyed Crystal Station. I'm so excited. We have some NPCs who were on Crystal Station, so they can share in your grief. That is great. That is great. Oh, what was Vico's rank? I can't remember.
At the end, Vico was head of a squadron. I believe that makes
Okay.
you a captain. I'll double check.
Okay. Yeah, we'll double check. Awesome. Thank you very much. I imagine that your droid, which you stuck in NPCs, thank you very much. The R5ST and 3PXR may occasionally speak in binary. It turns out 3PXR, the R5ST enjoys jokes based on Euclidean geometry. I won't be telling any, but you could just imagine them in binary and titter quietly to yourself, I'm sure. Awesome. Steven, you are up next. Tell us about this new character you have created.
Hi, I'm going to be playing Maso Cass, Maso for short. And her pronouns are she, her. She's near human. She's the soldier kit, and that means that she gets the Endure special skill. And she's originally from Naboo, and she wants to thwart the Empire because they've really starved and blockaded Naboo, and my twin brother Cinda is deathly sick and needs medicine.
Ooh.
Ooh, I should have looked at the NPCs to see if there was a good NPC I could make my brother.
Oh, good. Most of the NPCs I listed in are part of the fleet that you guys are flying among. What's Maso Cass's rank? Do you imagine her as like a private? Is she a corporal, a sergeant? What do you
I
think?
think she's a sergeant. Let me put that in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Perfect. Very excited to see Maso Cass, the Nabooan. You say she's near human. Does she have anything obviously not human about her appearance?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Neat. And then last but not least, Travis, tell us about your character.
I am playing Nirvana, who's a Twi'lek. She, her pronouns. The kid I've chosen is the techie, smart, practical, and capable. And I am just trying to prove the worth of my people to the snobs around me, and have overheard lots of prejudice in different places, whispers and things, and so just trying to prove myself is going to be a big motivator in the game.
That's wonderful and exciting because I think there's a good bit of Twi'leks trying to prove Ryloth good. We have General Hera Syndulla, who is the leader of the ground forces that are part of this fleet. So she probably is pretty favorable towards Nibbana. The four of you are a squad. I imagine that we may flash back to some of your successful or difficult missions as we play, but not going to have you meet at a cantina and establish your credentials. I think you've worked together before. The four of you are currently stationed on in and among a fleet, a New Republic fleet, but you, being troubleshooters, will be sent off on dangerous missions to take care of. There is a pretty well-renowned flight group that could be taking you on missions, but you also have you have a flyer among you. So I imagine that Rakgul occasionally will be the one that delivers you guys to missions. If you take a look at our NPCs, we have commanders, engineers, and support. So I'm curious, Nibbana, of the engineers and support line there, which of those 4 previously established NPCs do you imagine Nibbana has the most competition with about engineering mechanics or just techie fixes?
Probably Zizzy.
So Zizzy and Nibbana are
Yep.
competitors.
Hmm?
Sweet. And in her heart of hearts, does Nibbana think that she's a better technician than Zizzy?
I would say she's not that confident in it. She wants it, but she's waking up every morning saying to herself, "I could do this," but she's not 100%. She definitely doesn't have that confidence of, "Oh, it's definitely me." She instead is like, convinces herself every day.
Oh, neat. I like that. I like that a lot. 3PXR, we'd already established that R5ST likes telling Euclidean geometrical limericks jokes to you. Of the commanders, who relies upon your espionage skills within the fleet from time to time to just keep them aware of the temperature of the room, as it were?
I think it's Dala. It's got to be us and Dala.
Of course.
Yeah. Whom I'm not always sure has my best interests at heart.
Well, it's not personal.
It's just
They
a
have-
job. You
they're-
become the job after a while. It's tough.
Yes. Then among the regiment, Sergeant Masso, I'm sorry, there are only 3 members to choose from on the regiment, but among the regiment, who among them do you look up to the most and why?
So it's Major Tillo. Because you hear things among the other soldiers about what all they did. The major's was on Hoth, and that was a very dangerous situation. And he was one of the rear guard. He was the last ones off, and made sure that all the civilian personnel and everything like that got off planet before. So he had to face down, invading troops. He had to face down. I mean, I even heard, Darth Vader was there, and he had to face down those Imperial walkers, and they could have just blasted the whole place away from space, from their destroyers if they wanted. So, yeah.
Nice. And then last, Rakghoul. Among the flight group, and no, you cannot choose R5ST for this. Among the flight group, there's a rumor that Rakghoul is hooking up with one of the members of the flight group. Who is it that Rakghoul is supposedly hooking up with?
Let's see. I think it's Frost.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because she's efficient and calculating, and so yeah.
And Prim, like, is going good type for her, I think.
Yes.
But of course, everyone's going to have a story about her.
Right.
Everyone's got a story, and the scuttlebutt is that the 2 of them are hooking up. So 3PXR, did you pass that rumor along to Captain Dala, or is he unaware of this rumor?
I think Captain Dala has a way of getting stories out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's I like to think I can outfox people, and he's always getting me to talk about things I don't even need.
Nice. And I don't imagine that Dala does anything like memory wipes or forcing you to talk or anything.
Oh
He
no,
just-
no, old school.
Old school.
Like-
Just chats and
Just
prize
chats,
information.
a bottle of beer. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for letting me develop a little bit of your relationship with the fleet and their personnel. That was fun. So we begin with the four of you. And this is just like beginning of movie moments where we see you before you're called into the mission, where we get a little flavor, right? It's not quite A-Team where it's like just a snapshot of you doing a thing. Maybe this is like a pocket scene, a little bit of a prologue type deal of what you would do on, we'll say you're on Nebulon B class frigate. So the Nebulon B, that's the one that kind of looks like you're holding a giant handgun, right? It's got that long stem. And then there's this huge, if I remember correctly, it's a Moncall design. So it's very beautiful. And it's quite spacious. It's the one where, if I remember correctly, at the end of Empire Strikes Back, Luke has just gotten his hand, and he and Leia, in a not at all inappropriate way, are hugging each other while looking out across the vista of space. Thank you very much, Greg. You're wonderful. So you're on a Nebulon B escort frigate. It is a big, humongous thing. So where is it as we come into, like, there's some kind of cool theme that's not John Williams-esque, because we're trying to move into our own vibe here. But it's a cool spacey theme. I'm going to start with Maso. What do we see Maso, Sergeant Maso, doing during our intro to get a little bit of a flash of what she's about?
I think she's in like the gym. She's working out. She's got like the punching bag, and she's hitting that, and like I think she's wearing like, full armor and like a, full gear backpack kind of thing, and it's just it, looks exhausted.
Nice. But it's a thing where she's driving herself to be exhausted, not that someone's yelling at her to do more. She's just pushing herself harder.
Yeah.
Nice. All by herself, or is she among other soldiers who are performing strenuous activities?
Yeah, so I think that, this is a working ship. So yeah, there's all sorts of other soldiers in the gym at this point. They're doing, they're working out, they're doing, their kind of thing. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we probably see like a bench where Sergeant Aben, a Ratatak, is lifting like insane amount of weights. Like, how do these Ratatak lift so much weight? It's like, it's not physically possible. Things should break. And we see Maso, the hard-working sergeant, always pushing herself to be stronger, faster, better. Scan over to Rakghoul. Where do we see Rakghoul in this in-between missions? How does he pass that free time?
So it's in the simulator, and it's the, ostensibly it looks like he's training with the rest of the squadron, and they're rerunning the defense of Crucible Station, which has been pulled from the data cores that were recovered, and he's trying again and again and again. And we see Frost is the one who like opens up the chamber. It's just like, Commander, you've got to give it a rest. I need you prepped. Yeah.
I'm totally seeing the chamber, like that sim areas similar to the pods. If anybody's been to Gen Con, they have these like BattleTech pod type deals. The like crawl in, it's all VR. Yeah, it's totally one of those like lift out, and yeah, so does Frost seem concerned, or more like a, hey, you know?
I think she's a little concerned. Yeah.
Nice. How does Rakghoul handle that level of concern? Because do you see that Zerp's around? Like, she's seeing this moment where prim officer, efficient and calculating, showing a little bit of emotion, reaching out to you, Rakghoul.
We have to keep training. In fact, Frost, Zerp, why don't you jump in the other pods?
Frost looks over at Zerp, and we, the audience, see that Frost is like trying to tell Zerp, no, let's shut this down. And Zerp just smirks. Yeah, that sounds great. She climbs over and gets into a pod, and then a cluck of her tongue, and Frost gets in one of the third pods, and you guys run through yet another simulation of the loss of Crucible Station. We cut to 3PXR, how do you handle this bit of furlough you have between missions?
I got a card game going with other droids. Just learning
What
some
is
scuttlebutt.
in the pot? What is being bet here? That is the first thing I need to know.
It's strip poker. So modules from our torso cases, things like that.
How is the
it starts
Gonk
out with
droid
just a few
doing?
fasteners. What?
How is the Gonk droid doing?
The Gonk droid has an amazing poker face. It's just Gonk all the time. So
All Gonk.
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. A friend of mine recently decided to create a Pinterest board of all Gonk. And that amuses me. That's awesome because they're playing strip poker with various modules. And how is 3PXR? How are they doing?
3PXR is doing well, but is definitely having trouble with Gonk on their flank.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's wonderful. And then Nibbana, how are you using up this free time that you have?
Nibbana is in like a secondary engineering room, like not main engineering, it'd be like on a different floor quite far away where they keep some tools and just like have faster access to fix things. You see from behind at a bench a lot of light, so she's in shadow, a lot of light on this bench, and we see that she's got a pack on with a pair of mechanical arms. And she's actually holding on with both of her hands, her own hands, onto the bench, kind of leaning forward, and the mechanical arms are moving, just kind of stripping and rebuilding the same weapon over like a big blaster over and over and over again. And as we pull in, we see that it's obviously some kind of port to integrate the backpack, but you can see that the port is still red and swollen from just having been newly put in. So she's practicing trying to get her new mechanical augmented extra arms going
Wow.
and getting used to them.
Oh, that's wild. I love it. So merging into cybernetics to improve her techie skills. Nice. Quick question, only slightly related to this. Does Nibbana speak binary or speak and understand binary? The droid language of R2D2 stuff.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Does R5ST know this? That is the astromech droid of Raku.
Yeah, I think R5ST knows this.
Okay.
Perhaps pretends to not, but yes.
Oh God! So is R5ST the kind of person that would make jokes about Nibbana's cybernetics to say 3PXR in front of Nibbana, pretending that Nibbana can't understand it? I just want to know. You tell me if that's a thing that R5 would do.
No, I don't think. No, I think the way she lets Nibbana think is that it's more like she unknowingly repeats what Nibbana has said to like Nibbana will talk to a droid, and then R5ST will unknowingly repeat it in binary for the droid, even knowing that like the droid understands. Just like constantly echoes Nibbana but in binary.
That's funny. Awesome. Cool. So each of you receive a call either on your comm unit or over the loudspeakers. You're called to the briefing room, and so you extricate yourself from the strip poker 3PXR. You're able to collect you like pull in all the chits, and there's a few calamari flan in there that someone threw like money. What does money even mean? Ha 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 ha. Because droids, what do they care about money? And Maso, do you show up all sweaty after this thing, or do you imagine?
So it depends. It depends on what the communication says. If the communication says report immediately, show up all sweaty. If it's like you have a new mission, it's look presentable.
I think it's report immediately. Yeah.
Oh yes,
I kind of
all
vibe
sweaty.
on that.
Yeah, all sweaty but armored up. Still has the pack on. Yeah.
Cool. Nibbana, you've show up with your backpack, right? It's part of you now. That's so cool. I love that. So the four of you come in down hallways, see each other headed towards the same briefing room. You're a squad. You're known as a crew of troubleshooters. And when you come into the briefing room, we have the like slightly oval shaped conference room. Leaning against a wall is Captain Athendala, the ranking New Republic intelligence agent. Sitting at the far end, looking professional, is Major Marin Tobin, a fellow Twi'lek Nibbana. So, do Nibbana and Major Tobin ever like chat outside, say in an officer's quarters type thing, or are you two pretty distant and haven't really connected or conversed? What do you think?
I think it's been. I think there is some subtle aid there, like sort of having a. They're not friends, but I think that there's just been some subtle help and support,
Mhm.
not necessarily career help, but just support and whatever, occasional checking in. I think it's pretty much Tobin asking how she's doing, checking in after a mission. It's not a friendship, so it wouldn't really be appropriate for Nibbana to kind of pry in the other direction, but she appreciates the
Course.
support.
Cool. I like that. I like that a lot. And along with those two, Major Tobin and also Captain Dala, you see that seated near Tobin is a very large Ithorian male. And he turns and looks to the group of you. You don't recognize this individual. He is new. He is not wearing any signs of, like, not a uniform, not wearing any signs of medals or authority whatsoever. Looks like a citizen. And that's odd. That is not a normal situation for a non-New Republic officer to be part of your briefing missions. Major Tobin stands when all four of you enter. She inclines her head. Please have a seat. Thank you all for coming. This is a mission briefing, and then you will have time to prepare before you leave, but time is of the essence. She gestures to the Ithorian. This is Moma Nadan. He is an Ithorian exile. Your mission is to use Moma's intelligence on the Ithorian securities to pose as an Imperial resupply team. You will be sent to Ithor, which is still officially part of the Imperial Empire, the fractured Imperial remnant under the control of Warlord Zinj. Momon has left his wife and son. You are to go with him to Tabana Station, help him to retrieve his family, and to escort all three of them off of Tabana Bay and back to the fleet. There is a significant Imperial presence. Tabana Bay is a space station in orbit over Ithor. And this is where Rich pauses for a moment to give you guys, which you, the characters, would know. The Ithorians are very deeply connected to their homeworld. Their homeworld is a verdant paradise. One of the reasons that it is so is that the Ithorians themselves decided the best way to keep the planet in pristine condition was to move the hell off of it. So they all exist in geosynchronic orbit space stations over and these are called herd ships, but Major Tobin's just calling it a space station. These herd ships exist over Ithor, so they always have the beautiful, and they'll go down, but they don't live there. They don't want their technology there. They don't want to despoil the environment of Ithor. So Tabana Bay is one of the largest of all of the herd ships. It's considered kind of the capital city of inhabited Ithor, because it is still considered part of the Ithorian society and that planet. So step back in, as Major Tobin says. This will be a very dangerous mission. The Ithorians have refused diplomatic offers to be considered part of the New Republic. The Imperial presence is still strong, especially in their capital city. Therefore, you will need to be careful. Do you have any questions?
Is this why the Lambda's in the shuttle bay?
It is indeed. I'm sure that you are sufficient to pilot the Lambda, or shall I assign a member of the flight group?
As long as it's in working condition, Abana. All right.
Of course, it is in excellent condition, is it not, Nabana?
Yes, I think it is in working condition. I personally looked at it just 10 days ago, and I don't think by the records it's been out since. So I think it's all set.
Excellent.
And I assume this will be a covert mission where no one knows who we are. Do we have false identities?
You do have false idents. And Maso, if you wish, we have some fitted stormtrooper armor, if that's what you wish to use as part of your obfuscation.
Of course.
We offer the same to you, Rakul, or you can appear as an Imperial pilot.
Oh, pilot.
And of course, being Twillick, you're and your protocol, so they don't make those offers to you. Cool. Major Tobin says, "Thank you all for coming. Please begin preparation for the mission." And she looks to Moma and says, "Moma, if you could come with me, I'd like to do some final detail work with you." And so the Ithorian gets up, and Captain Nathan Dalla says, "Team, please remain. There's something I want to talk to you about." So he waits for Major Tobin to escort Moma out. That is your primary mission. However, there is a secondary mission that is also important for the four of you to complete. At Fonda Bay, there is also General Dews, an Imperial of great import. I would like for you to assassinate him. I'll give you the details of where Momar has identified the command center will be located. If at all possible, find him. Pulls up a little picture. You see that it is white dude, probably played by a British stage actor. And Rakul, the name didn't immediately ring a bell, but the picture does. General Dews is one of the individuals who was involved in the destruction of Crucible Station. And 3PXR, you see in the picture of Dews, like it's focused on him, but behind Dews, you've recognized GNO3 with a restraining bolt on them.
That's how they do. Okay.
That is indeed how they do. Of course, this does increase the difficulty of your mission, but I believe you're up for it. Primary, help Momon. He has been invaluable to the New Republic in helping us with increasing the yields of our crops with some of the planets we've recently freed from the tyranny of the Empire. Therefore, we offer this in exchange for all that he has done for the New Republic. But he is also giving us an opportunity to free his planet. He, of course, will not agree to such a thing, which is why he is not part of this briefing. Are there any questions?
So this must be kept from him even after it's done.
Once it's done, it's done.
Ah, okay. Yes, sir.
I doubt that he will work against you. That would be foolish. He is primarily motivated to free his wife and his son. He cares a great deal for them, and I do want him to have them return to him. But I see an extra opportunity for us here that will further the effort.
With this extra opportunity, I just want it to be super clear for us. If accomplishing the secondary goal means that we might fail the primary goal, do we focus? Is primary, I guess is what I'm asking.
Primary is primary.
Okay.
Absolutely. I do not wish for Momon and this opportunity that I have presented to you to cost him his wife and child.
Okay. Thank you.
And Rich, he means that, right? Or does he? Okay.
He means that to everyone but you.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He means that to everyone but you. Yep. Cool.
All right.
Are there any other questions that you guys have for Major Dala or Captain Dala?
Is the station a big place? I imagine it's the capital city.
Yes.
Any last known sighting of General Dews in the station?
Yes, the command center has been identified to us by Momon in his regular debriefing before we build the mission. I'll have that as a ping on the information provided in your datapad. And I've just unhid a tab on the character keeper that has a picture of Tafanda Bay, which is the herd ship that where you will be going. And if everybody's cool with that being the end of your briefing mission, we will take our mid-game break here. We begin with the four of you on a Lambda-class shuttle. Just as a brief moment, we'll have the last few seconds, minutes of you guys on the Lambda-class shuttle, just so we can see, new costume version of you. So, Maso, how is Sergeant Maso dressed?
Yeah, I've got the First Order troop armor on, and I'm trying it out. I do it in my quarters, and you can see that I'm kind of trying to get my movement going and everything like that. And I guess I swap out my nice, my trusty blaster for like one of the issued ones. And I sight and I try it a couple of times, and then I head up towards the bridge because we're about to pop out of hyperspace. And I think as I head up, as I get up to the bridge, clong, I hit my head on like one of the rafters there. So
It's best hat tip ever. What about Rakul as you are in the cockpit? Do you imagine that you're in the like full-on black TIE fighter thing, or more of a...
But he's got it like the helmet like up on top of his head, right? Like he's not barely seeing that thing. And mostly arguing with R5, who has a new coat of paint to make her look Imperial.
Oh man, she even has like the Imperial symbol on the...
Yeah.
Nice.
R5, just take it in slow. I know you want to go fast. I want to go fast too, but that's not protocol. We got to go slow.
Nice. And then the last cut is to Nibbana. You're looking at you've like, we're looking over your shoulders. Maybe we see one of the arms, and you're looking at a case. It's from Major Tobin, and in the case is a slave collar, and there's a note from Major Tobin saying, I'm sorry. But it's totally up to you if you put it on or not. What do you do?
Yeah. No, you know what? Nibbana's gonna slap it closed, click the latches, and just kick it underneath a bench.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
I do think I have like a fake restraining bolt. It's my only
Love it.
disguise.
Definitely.
Perfect. I was about to ask. You beat me to it. That's perfect. I love it. So you come out of hyperspace. You see the various space stations that are floating above. Just so anyone might be watching the video, this is a gist of what a herd ship would look like. A couple cool pictures I found on the internet, and there's this totally dope looking map and breakdown of everything. They actually have in the middle like a full-on jungle in the middle. This is a city. This is Tafanda Bay has tens of thousands of people. It's Star Wars, so of course it's like space opera, so it's huge. Everything's big. It's really big. It's a floating city, and the Lambda class shuttle is coming in, and we see a few TIE fighters in a squadron that are flying over. And Rakul, you have the code cylinder as you're entering in the information that you guys were told is good. And
THX, I'm sorry, these codes don't check out.
Yeah, copy that. Maybe I just misseated the data cylinder. Let me take another check. Close off the comms. Team?
yeah, those codes don't check out. What do you do?
3P, did you have other codes?
Now is this something I would have to roll for? I could use my no score.
Oh, why don't you try to know a way around this? Let's have you roll no. So this is our first die roll of Star Wars Breathless. I'm so excited. You're going to be rolling a D10. Now, in this particular die roller, I don't know if you've used it before, but if you click on a D10, it'll drop down in here. If you want to say that that's you rolling the die, that's cool. But usually I'll like drop a die in and then draw it out, and then you would click on it. So for example, I've just brought a D10 in here. Oh, I just realized that is probably, this black background might be a bad idea. Dang it. So you can roll it that way by clicking on it to where it's highlighted and then clicking the roll selected dice. And I'm gonna delete that out. And then I'm gonna actually probably change the background.
You can pull it,
Oops.
right? You can mouse pull it over to or that.
Yeah, don't worry. It's
Okay.
no problem. All right, so you've got a D10. You're looking for a free and clear is 5 or better. 3 to 4 is a.
I got a 3.
Okay, you got a.
I would like to help.
All right, you can help.
yeah.
How are you helping?
It probably won't help at all. I'm going to use my sway, which is a D4, just because 3P has the codes. I'm the one who's actually on the horn with the TIE fighters. Here we go. D4.
Makes total sense. All right.
Yeah, we're both in it.
Great. So the good news is for Rakul is that mixed success means that your D4 doesn't go down. It does mean, however, that for 3PXR, your knowledge goes from a D10 to a D8 until you take a breath. It also means that because 2 sessions, I'm pushing hard on the mechanics, I'd like for both of you to take a stress as you success with a cost. There's a long moment. I think 3PXR, do you like throw out some other codes and then Rakul tries to chat about it? How do you help? Like when you take over and try to convince this person, what is it that you offer up? What does that seem like?
Yeah, I think I might have like a database with 3 different code cylinder codes in it. And I'm just like you said, I'm just tossing them out.
Okay, cool. So try this one, try this one, try this one, and
Yeah.
then Rackle, you're selling the like, you know how it is. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And there's a long moment. Both of you take a stress because it seems like all might be lost here, and they say,
Oh, I see here. Why did you say your master torturer, Sir Vegnar Hife? Please proceed through this information. You will be landing at Docking Bay 52.
Much appreciated. Just trying to keep a low profile. Thanks.
and I think Nibbana or Maso, which of the two of you, just like whoever is most eager to jump up, has heard of the master torturer Sir Vegnar Hife? Could be both if you're both interested in it. Just drop the name in.
So I think Maso is certainly knows about it, knows of this torture. It's, you know, sort of it's one of the scary bedtime stories that they tell the soldiers, right? You know, you don't want to get caught by this one.
Did you
and
believe
Nibbana-
he was real?
Yeah, they're always real. Nibbana can also know if she's interested, but I think Maso turns to Nibbana and says, change of plan. You're now master torturer Vingar Hef. We're going to, you know, try to make you look more like a torturer.
Okay. What is the biggest, blackest cloak that we can find? Everybody look around. Anybody got one in their bag? Check all the cupboards.
I mean, it's an Imperial starship. There's got to be
Yes.
something.
Someone has a Holocaust cloak stuck in a closet somewhere on an Lambda class. Absolutely.
Can we modify the implements at the end of your robot arms?
That's what I was thinking. Love it.
Sweet. If you want to modify that, anyone can try that. I think it might be Nibbana's best. It might be the best one to do it since she is able to tinker.
Sure. I also want to just put on the record that with this news and looking around for stuff, I'm pulling the slave collar back out, and I'm actually just going to clip it on the back of my belt so that it goes in with us. Yes, we'll roll a tinker, definitely.
Okay.
10.
Let's see how it goes.
A 6.
Oh man, you can make these cybernetic arms look as wicked as you like. What's one of the implements that we see that it's going to give some kid nightmares until they talk it out with their parent?
I definitely think it's the one is one arm is going to be cutters of some kind, like bladed cutters, and the other is electrical sparky thing.
Nice. So we cut.
In fact, you know what I'm going to do, Rich, with that? I'm going to make it a plasma cutter because I think that'll come in handy potentially in the mission.
Nice.
And I picture. Do people know? Like, is Sir Hife known? Like, would people recognize him or her? Or is it sort of like an imperial mystery, like a whisper that even people of rank wouldn't know?
That is a great question. You guys are banking on them not knowing, but I think if you want to put it to a roll to have some surety, you can. So let's have you think about it. I think that is analyzing something.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that if you want. I'm supposed to know all this stuff.
Right. Awesome.
Although your think is now a D, or your no is a D8.
My no is D, but you said think. If I can still use. Think.
Oh, that's right. Yes, because you think and know. Oh my goodness, you're so good at the brain stuff. Awesome. Just now realized you like maxed out. You're so smart. It's great.
But only for a limited time because that's this game. 6.
Perfect.
There
Cool.
you
You
go.
get to declare the truth then. 3PXR, is Vengnar Hife someone that is mysterious, or is there a risk that someone might have met them before?
I think I think almost nobody has met Vignar Hive before. Maybe there's a small chance somebody on this station has seen them from afar, but I think there's a lot of mystery. I don't think anybody would expect Vignar Hive to be a Twi'lek, but I think you could sell it.
So one option, could we fashion a mask or
Mm,
something like that? So that, I mean, masks are scary,
yeah.
and
Yes, that's a great idea.
Meanwhile, Rakghoul, you're like pulling the Lambda
know, I was
class
like-
shuttle in.
We got so much time, team. I can't. We've done like the one loop around the station for like station keeping. Sorry, yeah. Thruster issue on the right-hand side. I'm sure we'll figure it out once we get in there.
Meanwhile, they're doing a big makeover sequence in the back of Nibbana. That's awesome.
Yeah, with a mask and a hood, we could do a lot here.
Yeah.
If you, I think the reason I'm going to put this to a roll is for time.
Sure.
Failure meaning you just don't have enough time, or
Mm.
that the mask doesn't look quite as cool as you think, and you either wear it and make it work or don't. You want to tinker up a mask?
Yes, definitely. I'll take
another
that.
option, if you don't want to take the time to make a mask, we could just get a dark hood on you, and that would be really quick. It depends on what you want to do.
Totally up to you.
Yeah, I think the Dark Hood's a given, but I'm going to try to tinker. Let's see how the time goes.
Are you
See
on
how
a
it
D8
goes.
now for the Tinker, or?
Thank you. Yes, I am.
See, this is the last time you'll roll a D8 and then it'll become a D6. Hope you guys don't need to tink anything later.
An 8. On the 8.
Nice. What is the most terrifying aspect of this mask? And it could be just like a mood. It doesn't have to be a particular physical change.
Mm-hmm. I'm open to ideas. If anybody's has a good one.
Is there something about the eyes that has a malevolent gleam? Is there a very inhuman face that it wears, or is it mysterious and almost featureless? What do you
Oh, I like that a lot. Yes. So, there's just so I assume that I'm going to have some cameras to see out of
Of course.
because we rolled an 8.
You got it.
Yeah, high def cameras and some sensor package in it, and all there really is just it's dull matte gray, and there's just really a little black box where the mouth is. It's just a stripe. That's the whole thing.
That's awesome.
Could part of the
and-
difficulty be that we have to like take parts from Maso and Rakghoul's helmets?
Okay.
Like we have to sub some of our stuff in. So yeah, like Rakghoul's like, yeah, okay. I could barely see out of the thing anyways. Take one of my optical sensors. Yeah.
That does scuttle the only pieces of equipment you had. That's fantastic. The
Yep.
Lambda class shuttle comes down just as you're putting the final touches on that mask, Nibbana, and it's unsettling. People
Excellent.
who look your way will likely look away and not want to have to try to hold your gaze when you speak at them.
I'm also going to use my mechanical arms for entrance purposes to make myself taller inside the hood. So put the arms up over so that I am like an extra 2 feet tall, but still black with just this hint of, which is also going to be disconcerting too. Like it'll be like black up top with a mask down here. So just,
And then Moma at the end just kind of leans his big Athorian head forward. What part should I play? I'm not sure if you remember in the mission parameters, but I'm technically in exile. If anyone recognizes me, it would not go well unless you're planning on pretending to torture me.
We pull out some binders, and we're gonna escort you as a prisoner.
Ah, the Chewy treatment.
Only your binders go behind your, behind your back, because Imperial protocols have changed, and I'll be escorting you with a blaster on you.
Very well. Cool.
No, R5. All the fog. Just push all the fog out. the dramatic entrance, yes.
We have a little Imperial March play in the background on tinny speakers as the four of you depart. The gangplank comes down and you walk down. There are stormtroopers. They are quickly moving to line up because this is the master torturer who's arrived. And you see at the end of the line is a tidily dressed, young, up-and-coming Imperial officer. She's got her hair pulled back into a tight bun. She's wearing that little, the cap that has the little baby bill going on. You see that she is a second lieutenant. And she snaps off a crisp salute to you, Nibbana. Regardless of whatever rank you may or may not hold, you evidently are worthy of a salute as you arrive and come down. So what do you do, Nibbana, as this lieutenant, Rich quickly glances over at his own helper and says, Lieutenant Zeiss, sir.
Lieutenant Zeiss, take us directly to the prisoner quarters.
Of course. She glances over to the Ithorian that you brought in, and you guys are in a hangar bay, and there are a number of Ithorians who are here, and one of them actually seems to recognize, like, they're talking to each other. They're talking back and forth. They don't have the basic voice modulator like Momo has, but they're obviously like, oh, we know who this guy is. And he lowers his head a little bit in shame, and the Lieutenant Zeiss starts leading you guys, and some of the stormtroopers will like form in behind you. Maso, do you stay up with the group or do you fall back with the stormtroopers? And do you have like the cool orange shoulder paddy thing that makes you look like you have rank, or are you just a peon stormtrooper?
I have the white pauldron. I've got a pick in the character keeper.
Oh,
it's
dope!
just whatever I found, and basically, so it's a white pauldron, which denotes again sergeant. I'm with the rest of the group, and as Moma, kind of hangs his head, I give him a shove with the butt of my blaster, like knock him off, make him kind of do that little skip step kind of thing, and
he falls to a knee like that. That was just the last thing. He weeps a little bit, lets out a sigh. And you hear actual fearful when you do this. And he struggles to his feet. He doesn't have his hands to help him get any balance, so it takes a moment of him finding that bit of balance before he's able to step up. And the Nibbana, you of course are wearing the guise of master torture. Sorry for dog barking. It's an honor to meet you, Master Hef.
Nibbana just keeps walking, doesn't acknowledge, doesn't talk, just walks.
As you can see over here is the skyline. If later you wish, I'm happy to take you to the observation deck.
I'm going to stop you. Let us focus on the job. Take us to the prisoner wing.
Are you looking to just focus her or terrify her?
I am I'm making roll budgets in my head. That's what I'm doing. Dice budgets in my head. Well, it's short game. I'm looking to Terrifier.
Fantastic.
I
Sway.
really want this quiet. I want no questions, and I want to get this going.
Love it. Give me a sway roll. Is anyone helping out?
D4.
It's okay.
4. A 2.
Nice. I think what I'm going to do here is tick our doomsday clock.
Rich, when we want to help, we should declare that before the roll.
No, we did it after before. Greg jumped in, so if you want to help, you can.
I could just try to be robotically menacing. I'm also a D4.
I'm happy to see that.
Okay, never mind.
Awesome.
I failed to be menacing at all.
Okay, cool. So I am ticking our doomsday clock up 1. It seems to have the effect, but there's a moment where she pauses, kind of stutter steps. Yes, of course, sir. Of course. Your voice does not sound the way that I'd heard on recordings.
Do you think for a minute I let my real voice ever be recorded?
Of course.
I'm gonna reach one of the arms out of the hood, just up top, and kind of put it on in front of their face.
Yeah, she didn't see that coming. Her eyes widen, and she lets out like a little, like slightly girlish, like scared noise. And she spins on a heel and starts marching. No words exchanged at all, as she leads you to a turbo lift, and the lot of you go in. Maso, you're with the crew, and you've got basically a squad of stormtroopers that look like they're going to be coming into this turbo lift. Do you do anything about that?
I think there's enough people. There's like 5, 6 of us. So I think, I step to the front. And as the squad of stormtroopers come in, head towards the lift, I'm like, take the next one. We're with VIPs. Through the little.
Cool. Give me a sway on that.
Yep.
It's not protocol.
2.
A 2. Awesome. So I'll give you a choice. We can either tick up the doomsday clock, which has 8 ticks on it for this mission, or they get onto the turbo lift with you, and we'll be continuing to follow you. It's totally up to you, Maso. Do you want to succeed here?
I think they should follow us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. They say, there's a moment, one looks to the other.
Sorry, sir. It's protocol.
And they
Rackle makes
filter
this just you see this subtle helmet move.
It's kind of that Captain America on the elevator thing where you're surrounded by a whole lot of
12 of them.
Yeah. So it is a tight squeeze, especially since Nibbana, as the Master Torturer, you're in the middle and everyone wants to give you a wide berth. So it's this odd, like, nipple in the middle of a ring type deal. The turbolift goes down. You do not get any, no chatter from Lieutenant Zeiss. Second Lieutenant Zeiss is completely quiet. She just faces the door. She is eager to get out of this elevator turbo lift, and the doors open up, and Maso, you push Momo forward, and you guys see that this is an Imperial detention block, very similar to what we remember from New Hope. So you've got that central area, and then several long corridors which hold, of course, individual detention cells. And Second Lieutenant Zeiss comes in. There are a few stormtroopers who are here working the detention block. They stand at attention when Lieutenant Zeiss comes in, and she says, "Master Torturer is here. to take over. What else would you require, sir?
And Rakul steps in. We have some additional people of interest that we need to round up.
Of course. If
You
you
will
provide...
see their chain codes here.
Yes, of course, of course.
And it's, of course, Moma's family.
Nice. Nice. That's perfect. That's not even a die roll. That's just pretty damn clever. So she takes that, looks at it. Right away. She snaps her fingers and the stormtroopers start to follow her out. Is there, do you one more thing, her?
Yeah, I want to sway one more time.
I
so
love
good at
it. What
For
do
the
you want
rest
out
of
of
the
her?
day, you will no longer Master Vengar Hife needs time to work. So we need to be left alone.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a sway for her to pull off the other stormtroopers that are stationed here, the jailer. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna take this die. Does everyone see that I moved the die?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna
Beautiful
re-roll
D4.
that die.
Let's see how it goes. It is a 2 now, and when we re-roll it, it
It's
becomes
a
a 1. She has no stomach whatsoever for saying no. So she says, of course, I'll put the request through. She glances down. RX-480. And then she snaps her fingers again because that's what she does to get the stormtroopers' attention and her squad of stormtroopers, and she will head back to the turbo lift. This is my ID code. Master Torturer, if you need anything else, do not hesitate. And then the door closes up and
Do not tally, Lieutenant.
she's going to fetch those two. Moma is still trying to look not too hard for him, scared of what's going on, and there are 5 stormtroopers who are here. They're still standing at attention, but one of them kind of gestures at his. Yeah, thank you for that. He gestures as if he needs to get back to work.
So I'm gonna walk around, take a look at the prisoner quarters,
Mm-hmm.
and say we need an open cell. Maybe next to some other cells so they can hear the screaming. And we then need to leave the Master Torturer alone to do his work.
Of course, we're all full up right now, but I'll just move and double up a few. It's not like they can lodge a complaint.
Good job. Yes.
Cool. And so the stormtroopers will move forward. They go down. It's like a couple steps down from the hallway into the detention center, and they pull out one of the prisoners to move them across the hallway. When they do so, I think Maso, you recognize the person that has been captured. You know them of your times during the rebellion. Is this somebody that was on a mission with you, or someone that you went up through basic training? Who are they to you?
I actually think that they are. So I've seen the vids and all that stuff from Major Contillo of his heroics on Hoth, and this is one of his teammates.
Oh wow! So someone that maybe was captured way back on Hoth.
He got out of Hoth,
Okay.
but I don't know what happened after that.
Nice.
But definitely was with Tillo doing doing the good job. Yeah.
Cool. They of course wouldn't recognize you, but you recognize them as they are drug across to be thrown into the other brig, and you now have a free detention cell. 3PXR, if these stormtroopers weren't around, you could dial into this system and get away with a lot. I'm realizing I needed to ask the question, is R5 with you? I assume yes, but I just want to make sure. So it was like trailing behind because you had the Imperial.
R5 is just trailing behind me. Yeah.
Cool. That's not really R5's expertise. She's a flyer. So 3P, you've got that opportunity. What do you want to do?
Oh, because the stormtroopers are moving people around right now?
Yeah, if they're moving people around, you could try to sneak a little something if you want to grab some information.
Yeah, I'll definitely put my interface bolt into the port, nearby port, just trying to find General Dews's current location. Don't know if that sort of request gets logged somewhere.
It would take let's see, I think you are trying to analyze something here and do it surreptitiously. So let's have you roll a think to see if you can not only get the information but do it without a cost. Does that seem cool?
Excellent. Yeah. Where did that go? I don't see it. Oh, there's 7.
7 is a full success.
Whew.
You are able
Nice.
to not only locate General Dews, who is in the command center that was originally detailed for you. It seems that he is on duty at this time, but you're able to keep your queries completely unobserved.
Fantastic. Whew.
You're in the system.
Excellent. So the stormtroopers are not around us. Can we talk?
You guys, I imagine you guys could talk on a private band.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have secure comms. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So, yeah,
That's
secure
easy for
comms.
me. I don't really have a moving mouth. Then I'll say, yes, I found General Dews. He's in the command center right now. I would just need a good excuse. A couple of us could peel off and.
Can you bring him here?
Yes, it's worth a shot. It's a great idea. Okay, so that would be maybe sway. My sway is terrible.
Yeah.
We all have bad sway.
I'll help if you need it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna-
you're going through the system to try to query to bring him here?
Yes, to summon him here to meet with the master torturer.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like this.
Because the traitor. So go ahead and roll, and then I'll give my help. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna reroll this this 1d4. That is.
Your lucky 1d4.
Yeah. Wait, where's the reroll slide? There we go.
Did you select it?
I selected it. Got a 4.
Okay.
4.
Woohoo.
Yes.
Now, do I mark stress for that, Rich? Or
You do. I'm going to have you mark stress for that. So
And I think I'll lean over and say that the general needs to come down because there's important information that the traitor Nadon has that only he should know about.
and I'm just gonna take a recording of what you just said and broadcast it in the specific room in the command center where he is. But of course, there's a cost because it's a partial success. So, Rich, I'm not sure what that is.
I think what happens is that General Dawes responds, "I'll be along presently with my command staff, of course." And there's that, he cuts it off. Like, that's the only answer he's going to give.
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't
he's
wait
on
for a
his way,
response.
but he's bringing folks with him.
Good friends.
Friends. Yes, friends. Sweet. So you guys have a few stormtroopers who are among you, but you're working, communicating back and forth on a secure channel. They get back to manning their stations. One gets up and they work in pairs and they move down and check out each of the individual. You know that Moma's family will be brought here very soon. What do you want to do in the interim that you have? You could, if you wanted, take a breather here.
Mhm.
There is space for that.
3PXBR could use it. 3PXR could use a breather.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn that down. I mean, it happens to all of us, right? So
Yes. If you all participate in that taking a breather, the cost of the doomsday clock going up a tick happens, and all of you can refresh your skills. I was thinking, like in the Breathless original game, it just says you take a breather, but I brought drives in as an influence, as a way to influence those types of conversations or potential flashbacks. So you're now up to 3 ticks, and I will make space. You have taken a breath.
So let's talk a little bit about, what we can do now that we're here in the situation. Does anyone have any ideas about what they'd like to do?
Well, before we move past the
Okay.
take a breather part, in my head, as I worked out the drives, I thought this could be space for you to mention, give us a glimpse to, commiserate, that kind of thing for take a breather.
Yeah.
So if that isn't too forced, I would love to see how that appears in play.
I think we could all be in the cell with Moma is a way for us to actually get a reprieve from the rest of it. Like we are extensively torturing him. 3PXR maybe just like playing pre-recorded Athorian screaming or something.
Right.
That's awesome.
I think I'm hoping they bring droids in that retinue so that Geno 3 might come through.
Yeah.
I'll just express how much I miss Geno 3.
Was Geno 3 the one behind the commander?
Yeah. Yes, he was. And he always saw the things I didn't. Always thought of the things I missed.
What is Geno's primary purpose?
Well, manufactured to be a maintenance and engineering droid, but through a long life has learned a lot of tricks and had modifications to allow them to do a lot of on-the-fly engineering modifications to starships, etc. So just a really resourceful little guy, and a great sense of humor.
Well, we can always ensure that there's something for Geno to do.
Yeah. I don't want to leave this station without him, but obviously we got to do whatever the mission requires.
Well, sorry, Moma, but I'm here to kill Dooz.
Thought we're at the doorstep of successful mission. I don't think you should put your personal. Everyone hates the Empire. It's a big faceless machine. We should just
It's not faceless to me. Moma.
And speaking as a faceless machine, I'd take exception to that.
Rakul like reaches into the pilot costume and pulls out, like, around his neck he has the only piece of the Dark Lighter trophy he still has left. I lost a lot of friends. Captain Dooz is to blame. We'll get your family off, Moma, but if I'm staying behind, that's why.
I hope you reconsider. Revenge never makes one whole, but only more broken.
I think as some of this discussion goes on and we have some of the recordings that are being played, I step out and I go out to the front area where where the troopers are, and I go to the weapon rack. And I think on the weapon rack they have one of these like the baton that we saw in Force Awakens, the electric thing, right?
Nice.
And I grab that and like a rifle and say, the the torture master is going to use these, and I walk back. And as I open the door, the screams get louder.
Right.
And then I step in and the doors close. And I think I tell them, these can come in handy later. We might not be by ourselves here. We might be able to recruit some of the prisoners here.
Do you have anything connected to your drive about this moment? Like,
No.
Okay.
That was great.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Did anybody want to?
Right.
Yeah, if anyone wants to throw a thing, otherwise we can move on. That satisfies my craving and desire for a personal connection during the middle of a combat heavy game.
And we all get to re-up our
Yes. You
skills.
can now,
Sweet.
all your skills go back to the initial ratings.
Yeah, I do have a request, which is while we are here, we need to make sure that everyone can function at full capacity. And of course, we haven't gotten any fights, so no one's hurt. However, I think 3PXR is a little bit stressed out. Nibbana, could you potentially do any repairs?
Yes, absolutely. 3PXR, how can I help? What do you need? Is there something you can't reach or that isn't within your internal controls?
Let's talk a little mechanics. I think we were, Maso was pointing out that 3PXR has taken a ton of stress.
Yeah.
So I, in the write-up, had said you have 2 med kits for each mission, but we'll say that there's 1 repair kit among that because we have a droid. So if we just want to say that Nibbana will use up that repair kit, then you can repair 2 stress on 3PXR. Sorry to get all mechanical, but that's where I think.
And I'd like for this to stay tense. So we have two med kits. One of those is a repair kit. One is the med kit.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. That sounds good to me.
All right. Yeah. So definitely my circuits are operating with a lot of current right now. I could use a step down. So.
All right. If you turn
place
around
on my case, just thank you.
Yeah. Turn around. I'll fiddle and drop in an extra little spare part that I keep in my bag, and just tap you on the shoulder and say, "Okay, I think I got it. How's that feel?"
Oh, that's so much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. You're muted, Rich.
Twice in the same session. Oh, it's usually so much better about that.
You can see you had your storytelling face on.
I did. I believe it. The next thing that happens is that Moma's wife and child are delivered. They are in binders, but the stormtroopers are just delivering them. It's not like they're cuffing them or beating them. The teenage boy, he's trying to protect his mother, and they are brought. Yeah, at first I was like, are they brought to you guys? Yeah, I think they're totally brought to you. So you get to see Fendamar and Doforo, the mate and teenage son of Moma Nadan, and they're brought in. Fendamar lets out a soft moan of surprise. She never expected to see her mate here. And the stormtrooper who is escorting her down the couple of steps to come into the quarters.
Well, now you get to see him tortured. Do your worst, master.
And they hand off the two in binders, and that stormtrooper's going to stick around. He wants to watch.
Sergeant, get this trooper out of here.
And I
I need
step
space to
forward.
breathe.
Yeah, I step forward and I say,
I won't get in the way. I just want to take notes,
Yeah. The issue here is that we're not cleared to see the violations that are going to happen here. The protocol violations that are going to happen here. Typically, it could be a problem for the Master Torturer if there's any witnesses of the children who might be in jeopardy in order to get their father to talk. And I kind of clap him on the back and say, we need to step away.
I think you need to sway.
Yeah. So I'm going to
I will assist by also being someone who's also leaving, right? Like we're both leaving. Yeah.
So I'm going to take the yellow D2 and let's see what that rolls. I got a 4. Do you want me to spend a stress for that?
Yes, it will cost you a stress, but there's some help coming. So maybe you'll roll better than a 4 with your D4. 3. You guys both got some stress out of it. But Rakul, you step out, and I think your reaction was muted. Did you have a thing for Rakul? You just
Definitely muted.
You muted yourself.
Yeah, I get stressed. Okay.
Feel better.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. So Rakul gets some stress. Maso, you get a little bit of stress as well, but this guy is escorted out and doesn't argue with it. And when it's you, Rakul, and the other trooper outside.
You worked with that guy before?
Just like you, I've heard stories. I have not worked with him before because then I kind of whisper through the squad mic. I don't think people work with him multiple times.
All right. I understand.
And I think I position myself outside the door, and look over to Rakul.
I'm gonna make my way down the torture chambers causeway thing, the big uplit red floor. Gonna get close to, I'm expecting that the commander will arrive shortly. So I'm just maybe extensively to go collect R5, right?
Okay, cool. So you head over to collect R5, who is, what would they make R5 do? It's an astromech droid. Probably wouldn't do much, so I imagine that R5's dialed in and is currently working on trying to crack some of the security system. Yeah, but it's R5 says, I'm not sure what 3PXR did to slide past this. The ice here is extensive. Don't tell them I said that.
Secret safe with me, R5.
We're not going to leave on that Lambda class shuttle, are we?
Hopefully we'll be leaving soon on something.
I've identified 3 different hangars. There are a number of better vehicles with more armament.
I think, I don't know, this might be a think roll. I'd like to, have some sort of failsafe to sort of lock down the hangars when we extricate ourselves here.
I love
that.
that.
If you want to set that up, that sounds like an interesting think roll to me.
If R5 can accomplish that.
Yeah, let's see if R5 can pull that off.
Is that think or defy?
Sounds like defy. I'm interested in a defy here.
All right, here we go with a 10-sided green.
Big 10, Big 10.
That's a 2.
All right. Yes, absolutely. That is exactly what you are sure has been
Just
done by
happened.
your
Okay.
trusty astromech droid as I tick the doomsday clock.
Doomsday clock one more time. Got it. Thanks.
Yep. No problem. Got it all worked out. Completely locked down.
Can always count on you, R5.
Absolutely, you can. Make sure though, you can tell that to 3PXR that you can always count on me. Just that's fine. You got to keep him in his place. Got to keep them in their place. Cool. So, let's skip ahead to Captain General. Why did I demote him? General Dews arriving on scene. So General Dews arrives with command staff, including a particular droid that he seems to count on a great deal. And when he arrives, his staff are several death troopers, because now that we've created death troopers, I just want to use them all the time. They're troopers that actually hit what they shoot at, therefore they're scarier. I think I'm going to go for a look of crusty old white dude for Dews. So, we'll just grab this picture, which I've stolen from Andor. So, it's not canon, but that's okay. I didn't spend $4 billion for this, so I could do whatever I want. General Dews enters the detention area, and you're already out there, Rakul. I would imagine that 3PXR, are you in or out? Are you in the detention room, or are you in the main center, 3PXR?
I think I'm in the main center. That's more interesting. So
cool.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Although no, I'm the one playing the scream noises, so I have to do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're playing scream noises. Yes.
Are we gonna? We have to make it look like Momaw's actually been tortured, even if it's just restraining him. Not because like we saw what Han Solo looked like after he'd been tortured. He looked the same. He was just in a lot of pain.
Exactly. So we don't have to have any blood.
We just need to make it plausible that we've been stimulating Momaw's pain centers or something.
You've got, maybe there's the sleeping pallet is raised up and he's strapped to it or something. That you totally fashioned up something to make it look like the master torturer is doing some master torturing. That's totally cool.
So let's do a quick flashback and talk about what the plan is.
Yeah.
Once Dews shows up, what do you guys think?
Kill him and shoot our way off the station?
I was going to say,
pretty much my plan.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
let's not be subtle.
I didn't want to step into any problems. So basically, I think what this will be is I'm going to depend. So I think we should have a prison break, right?
Oh yeah.
Great way to fake things, and we have those extra weapons. So basically, just open all the doors, hand out weapons, let everybody shoot everything up. The only thing I don't, and we'll see how that works. The only thing I'm not so sure about is how do we get Nadon's family out?
We have them with us.
I heard there's a trash compactor down this one wing. Although our mech droid connection doesn't seem to be as good as it could be. Or ability doesn't seem to be as good at getting stuff out.
But we think it went well.
Yeah.
I could look in and try to learn better about what actually happened, or I could try to shut off certain doors and open other ones.
It might be a good idea actually just to have, one of them open up all of the prisoner doors.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can try to do that anyway.
Okay.
Rich, would that be think or?
I think we've been using think as the general way to. Oh, that sway is super interesting, but I do believe
not sway.
My words. I do believe think is our general techie related thing. So I'm okay with that.
Sweet.
And also that's probably where you imagined when you put all those dice into Think, right?
Yeah,
But you're a
for sure.
droid. You got to be good at droiding, at least for a brief period
Yes.
of time. Awesome.
So I think
Okay.
we're gonna wait to do that until General Dews comes down.
Mhm.
And I think whenever he arrives, I'm gonna, stop him and I'm gonna be like, hey, we need to wait until the torture finishes, and then you can come in and see if Mama Nadon will talk. He has very important information about the resistance that you should hear.
Okay. So your plan is to waylay Dews and convince him to come into, you're going to try to draw him into the torturer's room to witness getting information from this.
I think so. And Rakul, did you accompany his retinue back, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I would have gone with him. I'm the torturer's personal pilot. So I am escorting him to you, and I maybe even we have that conversation, right? Like, THX, please give us access, and then you tell me no, we can't go.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
And that's
Cool.
how everything's going to kick off. Yep.
Okay. Give me a sway roll to see if he buys into going into your domain versus insisting that no, I'm not going there. He comes to me because
Okay.
I'm an Imperial asshole.
So I'm going to roll.
the
It should
risk.
be blue. I got a 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can we help?
I mean, I put myself there fictionally. I could try and assist with my sway. It's great. It's also a D4.
Excellent. We're due
All
for
right.
4.
There we go. Some of the reroll thing is all
Yeah.
grayed out.
It is? Yeah, click on it, I think. Yeah, click on a die to reroll.
You have to put a
Okay.
square reticle around
Yeah.
the die. There you go.
Thought I had, but okay, here we go. Rerolling my D3, that's a 2.
Okay, so the fail helping a fail
Yep.
means that this doomsday clock goes up by 1.
Yike.
And so here's what happens.
Mm.
You say, General Dews, we're going to go in there. General Dews says, all right. And he starts to go when a particular droid, GNO3, blurps out something in binary, and he stops, turns, and I think 3PXR, you don't get to witness this because you're still doing torture noises, but Rakul and Maso, both of you get to witness as GNO3 informs General Dews that Master Torturer Sir Vangnar Hef has arrived. And that's when General Dews says, what? And GNO3 says that using the correct codes, General Dews has arrived. Therefore, these crew are imposters. And when that is stated, the stormtroopers who are with the death troopers who are with General Dews, all with their scatter guns, because that pretty much look like, their rifles are like these badass sawed-off rifles that death troopers have. They start firing on you, Rakul and Maso, at General Dews' insistence.
I should have reached out to Geno3 before all this happened. I should have made contact. Why didn't I do that?
If only. Oh, so close. So Rakul and Maso, please, both of you, mark a stress as you're being fired upon. And Nabana, 3PXR, you guys are in there. You've got things trussed up to make it appear that Moma is being tortured. The wife and child are there, and the wife is coaching her son on, like, we're just going to pretend this is all a pretend. It's all to get us home. We're all going to, but I am home. He was kicked out because he gave the Empire secrets, and now we got to leave with them. And there's like some kind of drama going on with them. And then you hear blaster fire, a lot of blaster fire. This is not soundproof because that's why you were doing the torture sound effects. So yeah, that happens. We cut to Rockcool. You were there delivering this is a good plan when it all fell to poo-doo. And you're being fired upon by death troopers. What do you do, Rockcool?
I gotta take my shot. So I you know,
You're gonna blast them?
Well, Rackle does understand basic. Talks to R5 all the time. So pretty quickly figures out what's going on, pulls the blaster. I'm gonna shoot Commander Dews.
Oh my goodness, he's now General Dudes in my head.
Commander Dudes.
Dudes. Sorry. Oh, just killed our game. All the tension right out the door. Anyway, so you're gonna take a shot. You're gonna take your one shot at General Dews.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah, that's bold. Roll that D8. I gotta see this.
All right. Green die. D8. Here we go.
D8, green D8. You're dropping a new one.
Oh, the full Ocho.
Snap. Ocho. Yes. So what is that? I mean, it's a blaster bolt. What does this look like as you cap General Dews right in front of all of his death troopers?
I think I get that it's, they're raising theirs up, but the first blaster bolt is Rackghoul right into Dew's torso, and he just collapses like a deck of cards, just like ugh. And like that, then it yeah, exactly. And Rackghoul is just, beating feet because the other part of this mission, right,
is to get out,
get everyone else out. So, if they're gonna go after me, I'm beating feet down the corridor. Probably like reaching and taking off the stupid TIE fighter helmet as I do so.
Can't breathe in this thing. Awesome. That is wonderful, but I don't think you get out unscathed. I think taking the stress feels like what would happen in such a brazen act. Even though you rolled really well, you killed Dews. Does that feel fair to you? I want to make sure. Okay, cool. So now you are at 4 stress. Now, as a reminder, when you're at full stress, you are now vulnerable. It's wondrous, exactly as I planned. Maso, you're being fired upon by death troopers as well, right? You were out there.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're part of this discovered plot. What are you doing?
I'm going to lay down cover fire.
You see Rackghoul take out Dews. So what do you do? Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm going to lay down cover fire, and see if I can't increase the confusion about what's going on. Let's see what that roll looks like. Shoot.
That is what you should roll.
Yeah. Let's see what I roll. Okay, I rolled a 7.
Nice.
And I think this is just, all the firing's going on, and I think I'm going to shoot the controls.
Oh, nice.
During the process.
Boring your conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Sweet. So sparks light up. There's some fog, and R5 is chasing after you, Rackghoul, saying, you made me use all the fog. I could have used some fog right now, but you told me to use all the fog. I have no fog left. I'm fogless. This is your fault. Cool. So Maso, with that full success, I think you take a stress as well. You're right in the middle of a pitted fight, but you are holding your own. Maybe you're behind the command console. You've taken out a few of the stormtroopers. The death troopers are talking to each other in that weird warbly voice modulators that they're blah, 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 and they're trying to flank you at this point.
So Rackghoul, did you go down the aisle that has Nadon on it, or did you go down a different one?
I I'm just going like, so if it's a hallway, right? Like where the general arrived, somewhere in the middle is the torture chamber. I'm going that way, away from everybody else. Yeah.
Okay, you're going away. I think I'll run it. I'm going to run along with you, and as I run in your direction, I'm going to shoot all the controls on the, on the doors.
Okay, cool. So trying to open them, right?
Or something. Yeah.
Well, no, I just wanted to see what your intent is.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Thank you, Internet. Just so we're all on the same page, in the West End Games Starfall adventure, there was a map, and I actually have it in bigger form, but I'm just spinning off of this to move quickly. I'll have to blow this up a little bit, so it's in bad shape. It looks ugly. I apologize, but just so we have a general shape. The turbo lift comes in, opens up here. We've got the smile. That's the command area. That's where I was imagining you guys met with General Dews. We'll say that cell row 1 is where Nadon, as well as 3PXR and Nabana are. And you've got cell rows 2 and 3 over here. So Rakghoul, you ran down cell row 1 basically towards them, towards your other members of your crew. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm probably trying to come around the other side here and cause, pincher them coming down cell row 3.
Okay, cool. So you went off one of the other ways to try to pincher? Okay.
Trying to draw fire away from so we can get the family out. Yeah.
Got it. And then Maso, you were trying to just free prisoners or shoot. Like, what was the intent? So
the intent was I fire back at the troopers once firing starts, and I head in the same direction that Rakghoul went.
Okay, so you're both headed this way.
Yeah, firing in that direction, randomly, sort of to create chaos, including trying to hit the different cells.
Okay.
The controls for the cells.
Yeah. Cool. Then give me another shoot roll. With a mixed success, you're just creating complications and problems. With a full success, I think you free a few prisoners and you guys can use them to arm them up and have some backup.
Fantastic. So I'm going to roll a D8, and it should be blue because my shoot is now a D8. I got a 6.
Okay, full success. A few Ithorians will emerge from their cells, and they, of course, are problematic Ithorians. Perfect for you. And you guys can start to use them to help out. Let's cut back into the torture room, as it seems that your plans have gone a little bit awry outside as you hear a pitted battle. Nabana, what are you doing?
I'm going to join in coaching and the family to get them ready to move. So I'm just going to confirm you've got the manacles on, but you can just pop them. If you just hit them with your wrist right here, it'll just pop right off if you need. But we're going to start here, even though there's a lot going on. We're going to start with your hands bound, and I'm going to pull out a pistol and hand it to, I'm blanking on his name.
Nadal? Like actually given to Momo?
Yes. Yeah. Moma.
Man,
so I'll give an extra pistol.
Your son is like, oh, he doesn't get a blaster.
Yeah, totally. And I'm just going to say, okay, we need to get ready to move. It looks like we're going to have to fight our way out of here. So I'm going to drop off the cloak and that what I'll do is I'll hand the mask to the son. It's like, here, if you might want this later, just put this in your backpack. Just put this in your bag.
We've got a line on endangerment of children, so he's involved in the scene. He's not going to be put in any direct threat whatsoever. So we will observe that line is not a risk. He just gets to be the cool 10-year-old sub-in character that's doing things and screaming like this is wizard and other various things that people true Star Wars fans will complain about forever and ever. True in quotes. Anyway, cool. So let's see, Nibbana, what this looks like as you're trying to lead this crew out of their very dangerous position to try to get. Or are you going to hang tight, like you're just getting them ready, but waiting for things to clear? Like, what's the what do you?
Yeah,
think?
I think that the idea is to get them ready. Just make sure everybody's ready to move. The guns ready to go, and then I just want to have a little check-in with 3PXR. What else do we need to do? What can we? Is there anything we can do to help them out there?
Well, they've opened some of the cells, right, but not all of them.
Correct. And the cells that have been opened are not near you guys, right? Because they went down a different hallway.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could try to open all the rest of the cells. That would give us some cover.
Ooh, nice. Let's see you think your way through that.
Okay. Back up to a D10. It's awesome. And drag out a D10. Here is purple one. And we roll that. 6.
Yes.
Man, you guys roll a D6, D10s. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. So you are able to get all of them open if you would like.
Yes, every last one.
Every last shoot. And now we have a pretty crazy, tumultuous prison break. And I think while I had said I very much want a mission per session, but realize that may not be the case, what we may have to do is bring this to a close and then do another mission at the second half of next session. Because looking at time, it appears that we should probably bring it, like, this feels like a good tense moment to end our session with a huge prison break. All these Ithorians and other beings who are just rising up like a tide to clash against the stormtroopers, some of them getting weapons, others just charging forward. We have a Wookiee just grabs a particular stormtrooper and pan away as we hear the sickening crunch of a limb being removed. And then we see like what may be an arm with the Wookiee beating another stormtrooper. It's quite chaotic, and that is where we'll bring this particular session to a close. So the great news that I have for you is that both Maso Kas and Rakghoul get 4 survivor points. 3PXR and gets 1, and Nibbana, I got to put you under more stress. It's going to happen, although it won't benefit you. So, because we're just playing 2 sessions. And so that means that's the end of it. There's no like end of session questions or anything along those lines. I'd love to do a little bit of feedback with the bit of time we have left. I like to do stars and wishes for our feedback process. Wishes are, I'd love to have the wishes specifically about system, and also wishes for our second session, anything you'd like to see. So if you've got wishes, that can be, I was confused by this, or you could even go a little game designy talk of like, I didn't love this particular aspect, or maybe there's too much or too little of this or that. We've got some smart game designer folks in here, so I'm happy to hear your opinions on it. It's first time through running Breathless, and it is a Breathless hack that I made. So, by the way, friends who are new, I am the son of a Marine Corps sergeant who became a high school principal. I tell you that so that you know I'm very open to critical feedback, and I use it to improve myself and the things that I toy with. Not going to be like, you hurt my feelings. I'll be fine. I'll be fine, friends. So who would like to kick off with wishes? I'd like to wish my dog will stop barking. That's a wish I have. Just throw that out there.
I'm wishing / looking forward to Rakghoul's magnanimous end. I'm as far as design, I'm enjoying it a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot of feedback about that. I guess it's just a little unclear.
Mhm.
The way that the advancement is laid out, it kind of makes me think that I have to take advance 1, then advance 2, then advance 3, then I can take advance 4.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. That's not the intent. If you've got 4, if you
Okay,
aim
so
with
I
4, you
can
can buy
add.
a 4
Okay.
point. Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay.
I'll try to clarify that. That's a
Greg, the only reason you thought that is because the first one is costs 2, and that's the same
Right,
thing
and
as
then the
2 and
second
3.
one and the third one are the same upgrade, but they cost more. So that's why I was thinking that you kind of have to.
Oh, you're right. I guess that does communicate a certain step progression. I was thinking along the lines of like, oh, if you would have paid 3 for the first one and you're crazy like that, go for it. But you're right. It definitely looks like it's a progression system. But
Okay.
if you've got the points, you can buy any of the advancements. I'll try to clarify that language a little bit.
Well, then I'm adding my 5th stress box, and I'll figure out how to add that into the character keeper.
You bet. I'll help you. I'm happy to. Sweet. Thank you very much, Greg, for that feedback. I'd like to go next with wishes.
I'll go next. Wishes, as far as things, again, the system seems pretty good. I struggled a little bit with how to get my endure skill to come into play. So I wrote myself some notes in the little pop-up, like this would be slogging through rough terrain or taking damage and keeping on fighting and stuff like that. So
and with stress, like how do you take damage and keep on fighting when you've got stress, which expressly works against that.
I would think
That's a really good-
narratively. I think it would be like, oh, I'm at 4 stress, but I can keep fighting. I'm not going to run away. That kind of thing.
That's a real good point. Endure was one of those that I took as designed from another Breathless thing, and I think some refinement on how Endure looks in the system is needed. Thank you.
I think the look of it is fine for the soldier. That makes sense. My only concern is I needed to figure out how to get it in play.
Right. That's what I mean. Is like
Yeah.
some examples, like how do you endure? How make thing work in game? Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Cool. Excellent. So now, Chris or Travis?
I really like the system. It's having just 4 stress boxes is brutal, but it's very in keeping with the system. Now, Greg, you now have 5 stress boxes. Was that because you were taken out of the scene, or?
No. That's an advance, as you can get a 5th stress box.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, yeah. So it's yeah, it's really cool. I like the tension between, God, I want to lower my stress so I'm not taken out of the scene, versus I want these advancements between sessions. So wishes. Every time you're rolling on just 1 die, it's a flat probability. I something I like about rolling multiple dice is the results are going to cluster in the middle. So that's just sort of a designy pet peeve of mine. Although the thing I'm working on now has a flat probability scale, so go figure.
I hate this, and it's in my next design.
As in my yeah, no, I don't really have any other wishes. It was cool. Everybody got some good character moments, which was nice. You know, the take a breath that we all did was great. So
Good. I'm glad to hear that. When I read Take a Breath as it was originally designed, it's very open, and I really wanted to have some like what do you do in a Take a Breath? And so I'm glad to hear that it at least worked for our current play of it. Thank you for that. Cool, Chris. Thank you. Did you have any like wishes for next session?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to reuniting with Geno 3. So that's
that'll be fun.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah, I definitely think stars are the character development stuff. So appreciate those
Wishes.
questions.
Wish me up first.
Wish you first.
Yeah, do wishes, then you can hit as many stars as you want because you went last with wishes.
Yeah, okay. So I don't have I have no game mechanics specific things.
Okay.
Just for putting this out later, Rich.
Mhm.
Well, on the rules tab, you change in the Doomsday Clock. You change take a breather to take a breath. But
Dang
then you
it!
have breathers up above. So the box above has breather. I just didn't know if you wanted to unify how you refer to that.
Thank you very much for that catch. All right, perfect.
So nothing mechanical. It's just
No,
one of
that's a
those
great
things I
catch,
noticed when we
though.
were doing the
That's
roll.
really good.
Yeah.
Do you prefer what do you guys think? Take a breath, take a breather. Which sounds?
I think it's either breather or take a breath, just idiomatically. I don't think you take a breather,
Yeah, take a breather does seem weird.
or I could be wrong about
But that's
that.
the phrase.
Is it a phrase? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, all right. I guess I prefer take a breath just because it jives more with breathless.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you for that. All right, Travis, you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I broke the wrap up.
It's okay,
system.
man. I pulled you back.
So yes, the extra character development in a short game is so fun when it's done well, and so thank you for that, Rich. Yeah, I just appreciate learning about each of the characters and developing more of a team. I've appreciated developing the team over the day, so I'm grateful for those.
Excellent. Thank you. Chris, did you have any stars you'd like to hand out?
There's some great characters here. I like the I think I especially like Nibbana pretending to be the torture master is really great. I like the relationship between Rakghoul and R5. It's nice. And yeah, I love how tense it is. This is a hard, cruel game. I'm here for it.
Yay! I don't roll many cool games, and I'm glad to hear that this one was a little cruel. Thank you. I will insert to say star to Stephen for pulling me back from like saying, "Oh yeah, 2 med kits and a no, Rich. It's harsh, so this is how you should do it." Thank you for that. That was good. That was the right suggestion. That was the right call. Cool. Thank you, Chris. Stephen, did you have any stars?
Yeah. So specifically, I really like the system. Again, is tense, and I was kind of waiting for it to, for everything to hit the fan. So that was a good payoff. One thing, so like I really liked the way 3PXR was played, in that your background, you were like, oh, I have a droid that I loved, and that was so good because I hadn't considered that. I'm like, wow, I like that. I kind of want to see what droid love looks like. That's pretty neat. It's not something I hadn't seen before. And, I always like seeing returning characters. So Rakghoul is awesome. And again, pretending to be the torture master is fantastic. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Stephen. And then Greg.
I'll echo everyone's stars. I loved the putting on we have to be the torture master. That was a great like inversion of what you were supposed to do, right? You were supposed to be the Twi'lek slave, but no, you're the torture master. And yeah, all 3PXR's motivation is great. I hope we can boost GNO3 out in the next session. That will be so much fun. And then props to Stephen for being the awesome badass soldier there at the end and just shooting everything as we are attempting to make our escape. Super excited for that. And then star to you, Rich. I was looking through the Breathless SRD, and I think you've also trimmed out some of the things that might be in other Breathless systems that don't make a whole lot of sense for Star Wars. So I appreciate that. Like there's like equipment rules, and I'm sort of like, And there's other cool rules that might work for other systems, but those have been trimmed away here, and I appreciate that. Like, oh, if I have a shoot skill and I have a blaster, which one am I rolling? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, there were a few of those where I said, "Oh, that's cool for this setting. It doesn't feel Star Warsy to me," and I'm glad that those expurgations made sense to you, because I very much value your opinion on cool Star Warsy stuff. Thanks, everybody. Travis and Chris, it was great having the two of you guys along for this ride, and Greg, Steven, it's it's fine as always. You guys are amazing. So whatever. I'm not gonna blow more kisses your way. I appreciate this. I'm looking forward to more. I'm already wishing that I had posted more than 2 sessions, but this will definitely hit the calendars in the future. With that, we'll bring this session to a close. Thank you all for playing.